Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the Muscle of Yarn podcast. It's Thursday. It is September 12th.
That's right.
And I can't believe that September is basically a third of the way over.
Isn't that
I
crazy?
don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know where summer's gone. I don't know how we're already this far into September. But just crazy.
It is. Before you know it,
Yeah.
Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival is going to be here.
Yeah.
And then Rhinebeck not too long after that. And then New England Fiber Festival.
I know. All kinds of stuff going on.
And then holidays.
So this is a podcast about, I always say, like knitting, spinning, crocheting, fiber stuff. And Kelly and I just literally talking to each other.
Mm-hmm. My hair is doing really weird things today.
We podcast here at our yarn shop in Shelburne, Vermont. And we podcast during store hours, so if, we have customers come in, you can hear. Sometimes you get, people in the background. Like, it's, super fun.
We do our best.
We do our best, but it's not, sort of a normal, like, in the booth kind of podcast. Like, we're bringing it to you live and real. It's the best.
We are so real. Is that our title? We are so real.
We're so real. So real. It might be. And it's at the front, so I don't have to listen to the rest of it.
That's right. Done.
And so you can find the store out on all social media as Muscle of Yarn. Mm-hmm. So definitely most active on Ravelry and Instagram. A little activity on Facebook, but definitely more those two platforms. So feel free to join our group on Ravelry, follow us on Instagram.
Yep.
Come join the fun. Super fun.
Yeah.
And I'm Angela.
And I'm Kelly.
And you can find me out on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as a Junior Bird Kid.
And you can find me on Instagram as Kelly O Spins, and you can find me on Ravelry as Kelly Spins.
Yeah. And you feel free to follow or friend us on those two platforms as well, though with the cautionary tale that Instagram account is my personal Instagram account, so you'll see other stuff on there. Yeah. It's not just knitting and yarn. Mm-hmm. So lots of pictures of flowers lately. I've been on a flower kick. I don't know.
Yeah. It's so funny. Instagram does really weird algorithms because I haven't seen any posts from you,
really?
in a while. Huh. So if I then go, if I realize I haven't seen posts from anybody in a while, like Sue Stokes, I hadn't seen any posts from her for like weeks.
Yeah.
And then I went over to her account this morning.
You were like, there's tons of stuff
like,
there.
oh, there's some stuff here. Look at this pretty new fall yarn that she had.
Gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
Oh my God.
And so I started liking some of her photos. And if you do that, then you'll start seeing them again. Yeah. But then if you're not interacting as much with somebody, then they kind of, but if somebody hasn't posted in a while, I don't always,
Right. Yeah,
you don't always think like, gee, I haven't heard from so-and-so, or I haven't seen anything from so-and-so.
I should go check so-and-so's page. Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh,
I know.
Are you? Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
So it's kind of a bummer because there's stuff you miss.
Yeah, totally. Like yarn updates, which I don't need anymore.
Like yarn updates.
It was
Come on, Instagram.
It was a weekend.
You're cramping my style.
I didn't put it in the acquisitions because none of it's here yet.
Oh.
And I did the show notes last week and have not had a chance to do anything with them this week. So,
well,
but anyway, I can chat about it a little bit.
You can put them in when they come too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of them was a pre-order for Indian Tangled.
Oh, but did you see the I didn't realize that the logos that we vote on when we go to Rhinebeck are for 2 years out. So that really super cute little VW looking bus with all those
that's this year's logo.
That's this year's.
Yeah.
I know, because I ordered some stuff.
I did too.
Because I thought it was so cute. Because that's the one I voted for.
Oh, okay. 2 years ago.
2 years ago. But I was like, when last year's came out, I'm like, that's not the one I voted for. And then I realized that it was, and then when it came out this year, I'm like, oh.
So pro tip, if you're going to Rhinebeck and you're going to Rhinebeck and you want any like t-shirts or hats or anything like that, go order online right now.
Are they still available to order?
I don't know.
They might. I knew they were
I
closing
don't know when
soon.
they close.
Yeah.
Sorry if you've missed it, but because you can just pick it up there. You don't have to wait in line.
It makes it so much easier, yeah. Because the line for the souvenir tent gets really long.
Yeah. I ordered a t-shirt for each of my kids. Now my kids are done. And they got souvenir shirts, t-shirt for myself.
Nice. Yeah. I ordered a t-shirt for myself and a t-shirt for my husband because he's going this year. So.
Oh, Bob is joining us.
He is joining
us. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Super exciting.
Yeah, he might go hang out on Friday with his parents and do some stuff down there. And I'm like, that's totally fine because I'm going to.
We got things to go to.
I've got events.
Since we totally derailed, let's totally derail this. We've completely derailed it
We've
already.
completely derailed it.
Did you see the new event that's happening on Friday?
No.
I put it in show notes.
I was reading something down there.
It's called the
like,
Rhinebeck Yarn Bazaar, and it's being held in Rhinebeck on the Friday from 2 to 6 p.m. At Parish Hall, and the address and stuff is in there, and entrance is free, and they've got some other vendors.
That's fun.
Yeah, so there's another one on top of Needles Up and Indian
so if you didn't get tickets to go to those, it's something to do during the afternoon.
Yep.
Might be fun to kind of check it out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
When is our when are we going to Indian Tangle? What are our tickets for?
The last one,
that's
I think, which is 4 to 6 maybe, or 2 to 4 to 6, I think.
The evening one.
Evening one.
Yeah.
I figured I'd just go for that one. It's fine.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So we do like to start our podcast now that we've gotten all the crazy chit chat.
Mm-hmm.
No, clearly we've not seen each other for 2 weeks. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of random stuff in this podcast. Okay, so we like to start generally at the beginning part of the podcast with our pick of the week.
We do. Sort of. We're still,
We're still. Roughly.
Because we were about 16 minutes of outtakes.
Yeah,
so
we're doing good.
We're not too bad.
Oh, and we forgot to introduce our mascots. So these are our podcast meerkat podcast mascot meerkats. This is...
That's a mouthful.
This is Gage, the original meerkat, the OM. Original meerkat. This is Gage's new friend Swatch,
who came all the way from the West Coast,
all the way from Oregon. Super fun. You can follow their shenanigans on Instagram because they have an Instagram account too, and it's MLY_Gage_meerkat, I think. If not, there's a link in show notes.
And Gage is Gage, not
Gage.
Like Gage, check your Gage, Gage.
It's a play on words.
Right.
It's a joke. If you've been here for a while, you know why it's funny.
Yeah.
It's probably funny even if you haven't been here for a while. All right. Pick of the week. Back. Focus. We got some new yarn.
Some new yarns rolling in.
Lots of new yarns. So exciting. Fall yarns are showing up, and the fall colors are spectacular this year, guys.
So the fall colors this year are very much the very traditional jewel tone, really deep, super saturated colors, like the really deep oranges, really deep cranberry reds, really deep emeralds, the purples and plums, deep dark teals and turquoises.
So excited.
Yeah, really super saturated color. Golds. And the golds and oranges have been really, really popular too. So we've been getting a lot of those kind of coming in the store. So this is a brand new yarn for this fall for the company, for the store, for everything.
It is a fabulous looking yarn.
And yeah, I'm going to bring a couple more. They've got a pretty teal and a pretty green I'm going to bring in too, I think.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
Which I think would round it out. So here are the colors that we currently have in this yarn. And it is Juniper Moon Farm, which is a really lovely yarn. And it's Santa Cruz Organic Merino. There it is. So it is, let me give you the details. They're 100 gram skeins, 191 yards. So it's
like a heavy worsted.
It's a heavy worsted on the, you could use it for Aran weight stuff or worsted, depending on what you were working on and if you get gauge. So you don't care. They are saying 16 to 20 stitches on over 4 inches on a US 7 to 9. Yeah, or if you don't care.
Or you just like to wing it by the seat of your pants, because sometimes that's fun too.
So it's 100% organic merino wool. So not super wash, just so you know.
Regular wool. It will felt.
It will felt. Although felting is kind of coming back some.
It is.
So we've got 8 colors? We've got 8 colors right now, and they're mostly pretty neutral, good like sweater base colors in here.
But this color is just
I know, isn't that
gorgeous?
lovely?
It's kind of almost a little heathered.
So I've been knitting with orange forever. lately. Like, it's the only color.
It's really cool.
I know, isn't that
a really nice
really
mustard
lovely
color.
Goldish
mustardy color.
So these retail for $14.99. They do have some patterns. Juniper Moon Farm is quite good at doing some pattern support. So there's some patterns that are starting to roll out. And
this would be an amazing color combination for that Isolde fox sweater.
Oh yeah, that's really pretty. Yep, it would be pretty.
Okay, I don't need more yarn.
So yeah, a lot of these would look really, really nice together. There's kind of an indigo color here. There's a really dark,
it's like a dark
charcoal
gray,
kind of a medium gray, a light gray, and then there's the ivory color, and this is more of an oatmeal color.
Yep.
And then the gold and the orange.
So these retail for $14.99.
Yep.
So it's a really nice price point.
Yes.
And so the way this works is for the next 2 weeks, you will get 10% off online or in store with the coupon code for any of our in-stock yarns. And should we just make it Weekly Pick Cruise? C-U-C-R-U-Z. I can't spell. C-R-U-Z. I always put it at the bottom.
Yep.
So Weekly Pick Cruise will get you 10% off the next 2 weeks of any in stock of that yarn.
Yep.
So excellent.
I love it. I've been on sweater knitting craze. I was working on my jig shawl puzzle shawl, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And then I was looking at my yarn stash, and I'm like, I really want to knit a sweater. I need to knit a sweater. So I cast on a sweater.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Are we ready?
Stash yarn?
Yes, it's semi-stash. I got it this year, so it's not deep stash.
Okay.
Because it's a yarn that was discontinued, and I loved it so much.
You bought a bunch of it.
I bought a bunch of it.
You bought it all out.
I bought 3 sweater quantities of it. Yeah.
Nice. So I finished a couple things. Well, kind of finished a couple things.
Kind of.
So let's start with the one that's actually, truly, honestly, completely finished. I finished Glass Houses.
Ooh, so pretty. Look at that beauteous thing.
So this is a Mosaic knitting shawl. It's a 2-color fingering weight shawl. This happens to be the Malabrigo sock in the Ravelry red colorway and in Chameleon. And they're 2 colors that I think a lot of people would not have ever put together, but when they see them together, they're like, oh my gosh, that actually looks really awesome.
Yeah. And there are pops of the red in here. They're really subtle, but there are pops of the red.
They're there. So this was a really fun pattern. I really enjoyed it. It's got a nice I-cord edge as well. They're starting to see more and more shells with that I-cord edge. So
it gives it such a nice finish, rolled edge.
Yeah, it's so lovely. And you might be able to see, I was going to leave this here if we were going to get these colors back in to use for a shop sample. So if you want to come see it in person, I'll just, if it's not out front, just ask. It'll be in the back and you can take a look at it. Though it may not land on the floor until we actually have these colors, because then everybody wants those particular colors.
Yep.
Which is awesome. So anyway, Glass Houses, super fun knit. So that one's done. And then I knit a sleeve.
Woohoo!
So you know what that means.
I think you beat Jen. That's what I think it means.
I think I did, and apparently we're not going to have a steaking party because she's she's gotten distracted with other stuff.
Oh.
So, I don't know. Actually, the message I got, did she post out on Instagram? She might have posted out on Instagram, so I think I tagged her in my post.
Oh.
She was like, yeah, can't you just wear it like that?
Does that mean she's not going to steak hers?
I don't know. She's like, it looks good that way. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw me try on my Descent sweater before blacking. But so this is my steak line here. But you know what the comment was is that I probably could get away wearing it as a pullover if I wanted to wear it and hadn't got a chance to steak it, and that's probably true. So.
Some people would be like, "Hey, you got a steak line."
Yeah, what? What is that?
Other people like non-knitters.
They would just think it would be a design.
It was a design
element
because it falls right in the middle. So
Yep. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we'll see if this gets steeked before Rhinebeck or not. I have some time to make that happen. I'm going to put a zipper in. I'm not going to do button bands. I'm going to do a zipper.
Cool.
Because this, I should have used, so the pattern calls to go up to a 9 for the color work to make sure your gauge is all the same. And I probably should have just stuck with the 7 to make it a little bit tighter. So the top is a little bulkier or a little bigger than what I wanted. And so the zipper will help pull that in a little bit, so because there's not going to be the extra button band here. It's right. Right, exactly. But it'll just be nice oversized, kind of snuggling kind of sweater.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so yeah, so the knitting's all done on that. This is Fiber Stash yarn, her worsted weight yarn, which is amazing to work with. The green is in a colorway called Picky Husband, and the gray is was that her Great Scott? I always get Great Scott and
yeah, Jailhouse Rock.
Jailhouse Rock is darker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Great Scott. Great Scott.
Ooh, I didn't realize it, but she's gonna have there's a project that used Christie's yarn in Nomadic Knits.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram.
Good. I thought it was a no. It's not a no.
I was so excited because we'll see her at Vermont Sheep and Wool.
Yes.
And so that'll be cool. Super cool. So those are my 2 FO. So the descent, the knitting's all done with. I just need to do the finishing on it, and I am not opposed to wearing it as is.
As is.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep. And then I cast on a bunch of new things.
Woohoo!
I have 2 of them with me. One's kind of a stealth project, so you guys won't get to see it till later. Sorry. That one's at home.
Let's see.
Okay. So I cast on a new sweater. I think I was talking about this when we last podcasted a couple weeks ago. So this is Love Notes, and it's got some lace work there. It's not showing up.
You can see the texture.
You can see the texture a lot. So this is a fingering weight and a mohair held double, knit on pretty good sized needles. So it's on 10s for the body, and then I think 8s or 7s for the collars for the so it's a top down sweater. The yarn that I'm using is the Whimsical Wood Yarn Company in the Drink Up Bleep Bleep. It's from her Naughty line, so that uses swear words in the name of the yarn. But it's basically like, stepped on that, wine-colored yarn. Can't really, there, that's kind of
really deep. Yeah.
Really deep purple with some little pops of different shades of purple in there. You guys might recognize this because it started its life as a boxy, and I got about this far into it, and I'm like, not doing it. So it's just been waiting for another project, and I am so in love, and this is the drizzle that I'm using. I'm so in love with what these 2 yarns are doing together. It's pretty amazing, actually. So that's those 2 separate, and this is what they look like together.
It's amazing. So much depth,
so much going on here. And I was telling Kelly in sort of the outtake and takes, pre-takes, whatever, I'm actually not alternating skeins at all because you don't really need to.
Yep.
I know some people highly recommend it, and I was just looking at what the yarn was doing, and I'm like, I don't need to. With this color combination, for whatever reason, it's just tolerating very well.
And the mohair, too, is
blending.
Yeah, and it's a commercial yarn, and probably those are all from the same dye lot, so those you really wouldn't have to.
Right.
And the hand-dyed yarn, because you're mixing it with the mohair, it's going to kind of hide it where there would be
pooling or
any right. Because you held that up and I couldn't see.
And really the pudding's in the screen here, because sometimes when I hold stuff up, I'm like,
and you're like, oh,
that does not look good. And you really can't really tell. You can't tell at all. So this one's trucking along pretty good. I'm making the longer version, so I've 9.5 inches total I have to knit, so I've got a few more inches to go.
Yeah, you're close.
Yeah. So that's been kind of my, once I got it to dividing for the sleeves, been my mindless knitting project, because it's just stuck in the round.
Yeah.
And around and around and around.
That's what I'm doing on this new project that I'm doing. It's stuck in it right now. There is some shaping to it, but not very often.
Yeah.
So.
There'll be some short rows once I hit the 9.5 inches, because there's deeper in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's, and that's just 2 sleeves, and then the collar, and then it's done.
Woo!
Super fast.
Excellent.
Fast.
I know, that's a nice thing about knitting on big needles.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm using up stash on, and it makes me feel happy that I'm using stuff in my stash, because I know what's going to happen.
You know what I did? I put a bunch of yarns on Ravelry in my stash.
That was for sale? Oh.
Yeah, well, I put them on as for sale or trade,
Mm-hmm.
and I already have sold some.
Interesting.
Because there are some skeins I was like, I'm probably not going to use this. I'm just going to throw it up here, and if somebody's interested in it, awesome. Yeah.
Maybe I should do that. Because I have a bunch of yarn that I'm like, I kind of like it, but I'm not really getting to it. And if somebody else wanted it to be able to use it,
yeah,
I could probably.
That's what I'm doing. So if anybody is looking for any fingering weight yarn, I've got some Jinx yarn there. I've got some Wool and Vine. I've got some.
Cool.
What are some of the other
Maybe I'll have to go take a look.
There is actually a really pretty purple one from Wool and Vine
up
there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm gonna just kind of clear out some stuff, and if it sells, cool. If not, then that's fine too. But
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a good way to do it.
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, because I there's some of it that I do like, but there's also some that I was just like, gosh, I don't. Actually, there's a few skeins of Legacy, I think, too. There's just some that if I think of something to make with it, then I'll pull it out of that. Mm-hmm. But for now, I've got so much yarn that
so much yarn.
I just was feeling
So much.
oof.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't talk about what I was wearing.
Oh, yes. What are you wearing?
So I'm wearing my Asana shawl, and it's a Helen Stewart pattern.
Along with a fun new thing that Kelly made.
I know, I did. So I did some shawl cuffs, and I'll take it off because you can't see. I actually embossed a whole bunch too, so they are leather, and I don't know if the light will catch it. Oh, yep, see, this one is embossed with little flowers and vines.
Super cool.
And then it just wraps around and snaps. So there's a couple different ways you can wear them. And all I'll do is just do a quick tutorial. So some people, especially more for triangle shawls, you can just bring the pieces to the front and then put your handy dandy shawl cuff like this. But you look kind of like a Boy Scout.
What did I say? The Boy Scout style.
The Boy Scout style. Which, hey,
Totally
if
works.
you like it. And with some shawls, it might work really well, especially shorter ones. But I like doing it where I wrap the ends around, and then at this point, I'll wrap it around so I'm capturing both ends in there and the whole shawl, and do that. And then if you want tails hanging down, you can have tails. I didn't do it as good this time as I did the very first time I put it on this morning, but hey, whatever. You can leave them hanging down, but you can also take them and tuck them back in, not all the way through because then they fall out. So you can do that. So I've got a bunch of the shawl cuffs for sale here in the store, and I have a whole bunch more that have to go up on the Cranky Sheep website. So if you want to order them online, you can do it through there too.
Nice.
So there's a bunch of these. These are 1.5 inch, and then I have some that are 1/2 inch, and I have them just plain. I have some that are embossed like this, so they're kind of fun. And you can either wear this one, because most people can't see the embossing unless they got really close to you. It's very subtle, especially on the darker leather. You can either wear it with the snap out if you wanted just a little pop of the metal, because some of them I've got this is kind of like a antique brass, and I've got some that are like a chrome. I've got some that are black. I've got some that are like an antique pewter. So
lots of choices.
Lots of choices.
Lots of choices.
Lots of choices. But it's kind of nice because if you sometimes wearing shawl pins, I'm always worried that they're going to fall off,
right,
especially depending on the shawl that you're wearing. Mm-hmm. But this just clamps it right together. You don't have to worry about the shawl pin like through the fabric, and so it's kind of fun. And some of them are long enough you could wear them as like a cuff.
Yep.
Not all of them.
Bracelets. Yeah.
Some of them are. I've done a lot of them on the smaller side, so that like for the finer shawls, they'll really. Mm-hmm. And you have to be a little bit careful about really light colored shawls too, because depending on how the leather
might rub off.
Because most leather, a lot of people don't realize this, most leather is stained to get the darker colors because unstained leather is really, really light. So
yep, and the stain transfers.
Yeah, it can. These haven't been bad because sometimes you'll notice it when you're working with it. Mm-hmm. You'll get some on your hands, and I haven't with these. So anyway,
awesome.
Just a new little thing.
So I brought my second other project that I've been working on all the time.
Cool.
Which is the shift.
I can't wait to see it. Oh, I like it. Oh, I like that. I love the colors. Andrew's so funny. What was that? You sent me a message or something, or no? Maybe I just replied to your post about the colors, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm one." Actually, from the first Shawl Society that we did, which is where this one came from. She had a DK weight, the sport DK weight pattern, which was called Quill. And I started that.
That's
almost
right.
Yeah, almost these same exact colors. I think there's one that's a little bit different. But anyway, because I said something to her about how I loved her color combination. I'm like, of course I do. I have a shawl started in these colors.
Because it's like the complete opposite of where I had talked about going with this. Like I was talking about doing another one in chameleon or something like more brighter colors, and then I was here, and those three I was like, oh, I gotta do that. I gotta do it. So
they're really pretty.
Thank you. So this is all Malabrigo yarn. We've got Chispas, I think that's what it is. Chispas, which is that one. We've got Sandbank, and then we have Plomo. So Plomo was a bad actor on the Swift and had to be hand wound, which is the one downside with Malabrigo. I have my own personal opinion about how this happens. I won't share it here on the podcast. But
they party while they're skating.
Find me at Rhinebeck, and I'm happy to share with you what I think happens. I got one of those skeins. Somebody was having a good time. So it's a DK weight, sport weight shawl. And this is the one that is actually a cowl. So you knit it flat and then seam it. And I can't even spatially. So funny story.
So this part here, where you don't have the pretty edge.
Yep. The unpretty edge
that's where you're gonna
gets sewn.
And you haven't even made the other edge that it gets sewn to yet.
Right. But I can't spatially tell you how this goes. Okay, so funny story. Let's get back to the funny story. I was thinking about this morning when I was driving into work. So I was an engineering major for one semester at college.
Really?
Yeah, my first semester. I knew within 2 weeks that it was not going to work. Because I literally cannot rotate things in my head spatially. Mm-hmm. So, like, for me, trying to hold this up and visualize where and how this goes until I've seen it. Now, if I see it once, I probably then am okay, but I can't mind Jenga it. It doesn't work. My brain's like, no. And from what I understand, in engineering, you have to kind of be able to do that a little bit, like depending on what kind of engineering you're doing, and it was just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I became a biology major instead.
You know.
Was much more suited to my personality. Perhaps. Now I'm a lawyer. Way more suited to my personality. So.
That's really funny.
Engineer, not so much. Lawyer, absolutely. Anyway, so that was my, I don't even know why it made me think of that. I think it's because, again, it's that, like, I can't visualize where that needs to go. When it's all laid out and I see the two ends, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. But
yeah, when you do lay it out, it actually is quite symmetrical.
Yeah.
And those two little ends will be, like, right here, and you're like, oh, easy.
Okay, I just put those together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But because you haven't gotten to the other side that you're joining it to yet, and that hasn't been created, it would be really hard to tell.
I'm probably also holding it wrong, right? So because there's that edge, so I don't know.
So that edge is going to be in the back. So if you turn it, that's kind of how it's going to sit.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't gotten there yet, which is why I'm like, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay. I did weave in the ends, though, because they were making me crazy.
So I don't know if you knew this, but she's got a tutorial on about ends and how with the I-cord edge, you can actually just tuck them into the I-cord edge, and then you don't have to weave in ends.
Did not see that.
Yeah,
tutorial.
she's got great tutorials.
Okay, well, I'll go check that out.
Yeah.
Learn something new. See, this is why we podcast. So you can learn something, and I can learn something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, there's a tutorial for that for all, like, the night shift and shifty. I can't remember if she actually says which one it's in, but there's one of them where she does talk about that.
So my aversion to weaving in ends was so over after I needed to change a shawl. It's not really a big deal. Not a big deal at all.
Yeah.
No problems.
Yeah, no worries.
So I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to knit after I finish these things. I might take a gander at the, no, I can't remember what it's called. I will show you a picture, though.
Cool.
I already showed Kelly a picture. The Felix cardigan.
Yeah.
By Amy Christophers.
Yeah, so I was looking at that too. So Amy Christophers is the head of Barocco Design, and she's done a great job with that. Barocco has really stepped up their game, and I really like her designs.
It's really cool, like shoulder detail.
Yeah, they're very classic and traditional, but sometimes she'll like throw a little modern twist in them. So she lives in Vermont, so of course we love that.
And this sweater was designed using Green Mountain Spinnery mountain mohair.
For this particular design has nothing to do with Barocco, but just to give you a little background information on her.
So it's just a cute little...
So cute.
Over the top of a dress kind of cardigan.
Yeah, I saw that when it came out, cool. And it's funny that you've come across that too, because I really like that.
It's also knit on tens.
Is it? Nice.
8s and 10s. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So this is why I think I can get all of these things done before Rhinebeck. Grossly overestimating the amount of time I have.
We're getting really dark in here.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to stand up so our light will come back. There we go. Yeah, so I started a new sweater. And...
Oh, swatchy.
Sorry, swatch. And the new sweater I started is one that is familiar to Angela because she knit it last year? This year?
Last year.
Last year. She did it out of the Let Lopi yarn, which is a worsted weight. It calls for a bulky weight, but there are some other patterns that I did. Mary Jane Mucklestone did Sigla and Stopover, and those were both basically the same gauge as the one that I'm doing. So Angela's like, I bet I could do this, and it came out really well.
Yep.
So that's Sing Winter, if you're not familiar with it.
It's an awesome pattern.
It's really cute. So the yarn that I got, which is the Juniper Moon Farm Moonshine Chunky, they discontinued the chunky version. The worsted weight version is no problem. That one is still fine. But the chunky version they have discontinued. So I bought a whole bunch of it, 3 sweater quantities worth of it. And
basically all that we had in the store.
No, there was still some left. I didn't buy it all out, but it was kind of dwindling anyway because we couldn't reorder it. And So I have two of, so it's Alicia Plummer who wrote that pattern, and I have two of her patterns lined up for some of this. I can't remember the name of the other one. And then there's another one.
Because she did the campsite cardigan.
Yeah,
right?
she did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there's another pattern from the Within book that is this really cute pullover, and it has a really nice collar that kind of crosses in the front. Cool. And I've got some yarn, the moonshine, to do that. So anyway, that's how far I am on the body on this one. I just did what she calls the hip shaping, where you decrease in. I think more traditionally most people know of it as like waist shaping, because you're kind of tapering in for the smaller part of your waist, and then she's got bust shaping, which is just kind of going back out. So I'm just finished the decreasing. I'm doing some plain rows of stockinette, and then I'm going to do the increasing back up. So that should be just about right for where I like my sweaters. I tend to like mine around 15 and a half inches, so that they hit me right from the underarm. But she actually tells you to do the body to the underarm, and then put those stitches, put that aside and work on the sleeves. I like doing the sleeves first, so I get them out of the way and I know they're done. So
you can also check your gauge that way too, if you want to check gauge.
Well, you could, but I don't check it that way.
What?
I checked gauge, but I checked it the normal way. What? You didn't check gauge?
I did not check gauge for the sweater at all.
I'll tuck on my ends so they're not dangling.
Kelly has a sleeve.
So I have two sleeves.
I
won't put the other one on though. But so there's color work on the bottom of the sleeves, and it's kind of reflects the color work that's going to be in the yoke too. Don't mind my little scrap yarns up there, but there.
The sleeve.
It's a sleeve. So as you can see, like, orange has been my color. I knit this a long time ago, but orange has been my color lately because I've got this, and there was something else that I was doing that was, I don't know. Anyway, I like it. It makes me happy. So
that's what's important.
Yep. So sleeves are done, and then body's almost to the point of joining them before too long, and then color work in the yoke, and it won't be too long. I might have a sweater finished for next week, maybe.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Maybe. That's a nice thing with the bulky yarn. Somebody saw it who had seen me start it. So I started this not quite 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago. And somebody had seen it after the weekend that I first started doing it, the sleeves. They're like, oh my God, you've got one sleeve done and you're already halfway through your second. I'm like, well, it's bulky yarn.
Yeah, on tens.
Yeah, it knits up so fast. That's so fun, isn't it?
It's so fun.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very fall. I can't wait. So this yarn is merino wool, alpaca, and silks. It is really, really warm. So I'm definitely looking forward to
cold weather.
Yeah. Because I won't be able to wear this until it's like 40 degrees outside at least.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Awesome.
But it's super, super soft because of that. Well, all of those fibers are really soft.
Yeah.
And the alpaca and the silk kind of make it have some drape to it too. And you can see the little silk slubs in it every once in a while, which I don't mind. I think it's kind of fun.
Nice.
So anyway.
Super fun.
That's what I'm primarily working on and have been working on for the last couple of weeks.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Did you bring your jigsaw with you?
No. I forgot it at home.
Yeah.
I hadn't really worked on it a lot probably since the last time I showed it, because I really just 2 weeks ago I just picked up my needles for this sweater.
Got sucked in with that one.
Yeah. So.
Yep. Like me with this sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Yuppers.
So that's really all I've got.
That's what I've been working on.
It doesn't seem like a lot for 2 weeks, but
it is.
I've been finishing up a lot of garden stuff and I've had a lot of customer projects. I had repairs and seaming and things like that I've been doing. So
nice.
Yep, I try to prioritize that stuff. I have a huge cranky sheep order that I'm just about wrapping up. Somebody sent me 24 skeins to crank into tubes, So I'm probably going to finish that tonight and get that off to them.
I might have a couple more tubes that I might be like, can you do this for me, please?
I can do that.
Okay. Awesome.
I can do that.
Maybe if I get my act together, I'll bring them on Saturday.
Cool.
Or Sunday.
Cool.
And when you have time.
Yeah, I can do that.
Because they're going to be like my sock blanks where I have 700 sock blanks that I haven't knit off of. But these are faster because you just have to add the heels, toes, and cuffs. So.
Yep.
And then I feel like I'm using yarn.
You are using yarn. That's right.
So get rid of some of that sock yarn I've got laying around. Taking up space. So I can go buy more sock yarn to lay around, take up space. Yep. So events, we did talk a little bit about the Rhinebeck Yarn Bazaar. So this is a new event happening the Friday before Rhinebeck, and it's going to be happening down in Rhinebeck from 2 to 6. The details are in the show notes, and I understand entrance is free, so check it out. If
That'd
you're
be fun just to go and wander around then.
Yeah,
Even
if you're
not in the mood
area.
for buying.
Exactly. Zandy Peters is the one that's putting it on. Does that sound right? Zandy Peters. Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So nice, another little lineup of events. So I mean, Kelly and I were just talking like if you didn't get tickets to any Untangled or
But you have time in the afternoon.
You have time in the afternoon, and you don't want to wait in line over at Needles Up. Though I understand that line goes pretty quick over there. So come over, check this out, see what's going on. So there's new events happening all the time that people are adding. This is really turning into like a 3 or 4 day fiber festival.
Yeah.
So which
it's
is
kind of nice
cool.
with the side events because you get to see people that can't necessarily get into the big event at Rhinebeck because that's really
it's hard to get in.
There's a long wait list.
Yep.
And so that's nice. Ooh, Tammy's bringing her black nose valet sheep so you can see them at Rhinebeck.
I'm so excited.
I know.
So cute.
Yeah, she's
so.
I'm pretty. She was pretty sure that those are the ones that are gonna come. So
Okay, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So excited. I know. I wanted to go down to the Makers Market, and I could not get my act together.
Yeah.
I had some other things that I had to take care of.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer because it looked like it was so much fun.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to close the butterfly cowl last week, and that did not happen. So add your projects away. We'll try to remember to do it next week.
Yeah. So our class, a lot of the people they're planning on doing so we had a class with the designer Marin, and they're planning on doing one last kind of get together, and most people have finished up with their shawls.
Okay.
So it'll be kind of fun.
To post them.
I know. So if you haven't and you did Marin's class, so I can't wait to see them all finished. It's going to be amazing.
Nice.
I know.
Nice. So that's going on, and the shift along is still going. That's running until the beginning of October. So there's still time. I was posting encouraging things on the Muscle of Yarn Instagram account about there's still time. There's still time. And upcoming cowls, we have our Warmth with Yarn cowl, which is basically our version of the mitten tree.
Oh my gosh. So we've already gotten one package of a bunch of hats.
Awesome.
From someone.
Awesome.
We had another viewer, thank you so much. I didn't write down everybody's names, so I'm not going to say names, but I'll just say a huge thank you, who had done a really cool, I haven't seen pictures of it, which I hope she'll send us a link for pictures or something, did a mandala, and so she had a bunch of cotton left over, so she did a bunch of soap sacks. Like, I've got this bag filled with soap sacks.
Cool.
And then Joan brought some project bags the other day, but she had sewn a couple extra denim bags that people can use as market bags, and she donated those.
Oh my gosh, that's
I know.
Nice.
I know, you guys. You're just too good.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Incredibly generous.
So generous.
The folks that we donate those to here, so that charities that we donate them to are Spectrum Youth Services, which deal specifically with homeless youth in the area, COTS, which does families and other folks, and then a new one this year is called A New Place. So they do homeless services, residential facility, but they also have a lot of people that just come to the door. So when I was talking to the director, he was like, we can always use that kind of stuff because even if we can't house somebody, if they come, we can at least give them some things to help keep them warm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's been getting chilly, so it's nice that we can do this. So hats, scarves, mittens, socks, that kind of thing, and market bags. So Vermont is
going single-use plastic
bag free. So the grocery stores and things are not going to have the bags with handles anymore unless they do paper, which a lot of those are more expensive. So I'm guessing they're
so you're gonna have to bring your own bags.
Cost prohibitive. So everybody's gonna have to do your own bags, and of course, if you're homeless, that may not be something that you have access to.
Right.
So if we can, or even not even necessarily homeless, but lower income people, it's an added expense, and so I get it, and so we want to kind of help out where we can, and that's another one. And then the soap sacks too, usually made from cotton. Or there's some good patterns online you can check out, and a lot of people have never heard about that, but it's a nice way for people to keep a bar of soap in the soap sack. It also acts as like a washcloth, and so it's just another way that if you've got a little bit of free time and a little bit of yarn, we'd love to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we have a shout out?
We do have a shout out. So I want to say a very big hello to Hillary from Alaska.
Hi, Hillary.
So she came and she actually went to Tammy's Fiber Summit.
Oh, cool.
And she's friends with Marilee.
Okay.
Who comes to group. And that's how I got to meet her. I actually met her on the phone because she doesn't have any yarn shops right where she is, and it's hard. So we were talking over color options and things on the phone, and we ended up sending her yarn.
Cool.
And so she lives in Alaska. The little islands that it kind of swoop out.
Aleutian chain?
I think so.
Yep.
She's out there.
Okay.
So
Wow.
Yeah, she's not on mainland, so she's got to fly in and out.
Wow.
So,
That's a trip.
Yeah. Yes. So, anyway, she was able to stop into the store. She watches the podcast regularly and was able to stop in the store before the Fiber Summit started. Nice. And we had such a fun time. She came and we were chit-chatting. I think they were here for a couple hours, and it was great. Nice. She's awesome. Super, super awesome. So, hi, Hillary.
Hi,
I'm glad you made it home safely, and I hope you had a ton of fun while you were in Vermont. And I know I've got to plan a trip to Alaska, so.
I've heard it's amazing. My husband's been. I have not.
I
grew up on the West Coast, and I've never been up there.
My husband that's one place he really, really wants to go, so.
He went fishing.
Did he?
They should plan a trip or something.
Yeah.
My husband went with
we'll
my
go knit
brother
with
and my
Hillary.
dad. Oh, yeah.
We'll send the boys out there.
They'll go fishing, and we'll just hang out and knit. Sounds like a perfect vacation.
I know.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
So, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So we so love meeting folks from all over.
I know.
It's pretty amazing.
That's the thing with festival season, because we go to Vermont Sheep and Wool, and we go to, and most of the people from Vermont Sheep and Wool, they either have been in the store or whatever, so they kind of know us. But it's still so fun when we get to catch up with people that we don't always see that often.
So I haven't sorted out whether I'm going to be able to be there on Saturday or not. I may not be able to go till Sunday.
Gotcha.
So we'll see.
Okay.
Got, kid stuff and other things going on. The schedule looks a little crazy right now.
Yeah, I completely
I'm like,
understand.
how are we supposed to do all this stuff? Yeah. Okay. But I can almost guarantee you that I will have both of my children with me. Because for sure William, because I've already told him, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to make it out of the house without his sister.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be fine.
That's okay.
They're both good.
They're really good, and it's a good, fun family festival. It's small enough where you don't have to, people aren't bumping into you like crazy at Rhinebeck, and there's, the animals for the kids to see, and there's so much to see, and there's good food there because they've
really good food.
brought in the food trucks, which is awesome.
Yep.
So there's a lot of variety of food. It's really probably my favorite. And I haven't been to tons of fiber festivals, but it's a good size,
nice.
and you really can just go and hang out. I know a lot of people from our NIP group are taking their chairs and they set up on the lawn, and they, they're like, oh, I'm going to leave my stuff and go wander. Can you guys watch my stuff? Oh, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
And they go and wander around, then come back with some food, and they've got the maple building, and so there's like maple cotton candy and maple milkshakes and maple creamies and you name it maple, and it's probably there, so you can have your lunch and then go get some maple dessert, and it's great.
Super fun. And they do the sheepdog stuff is going on all the time there, and
sheep shearing and sheepdog demonstrations, and then they've got weaving demonstrations and spinning demonstrations, and of course the all of the different contests that you can enter, and they Deb Robson is actually the teacher, their kind of big headline teacher who's coming and teaching. Cool. So it looked really interesting, and if there's still room in some of her classes and the stars align, I might try to go down for that. But
cool.
Very cool.
So then, of course, the Rhinebeck's coming up, and we'll be there for the weekend.
I know.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We don't hang around a huge amount on Sunday. We go for a couple of hours and then get
usually
on the
around
road.
Lunchtime we head out so we can get back at a
because we all have to
reasonable
get back to work on Monday.
Yeah, I know.
So fun times, and I think that's about it. We, of course, have big festivities over Thanksgiving holiday here for our Small Business Saturday, and we do our anniversary kind of stuff.
We do.
During that weekend. Saturday.
So that was our grand opening weekend 4 years ago.
4 years ago, guys.
4 years ago.
Can you believe that?
I know.
Wow.
I know.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So, very cool.
Yep. I know. And I can't believe I just mentioned Thanksgiving, that it's like in the sight now.
It kind of is.
Kind of is a couple months off.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a good holiday.
It is a fun holiday. Turkey.
Yeah.
Pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Stuffing.
Mashed potatoes.
Gravy. Cranberries. It's all good. Anyway,
it's all
delicious.
Good. It is.
Yum.
It's making me hungry.
Now I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry. I have to go to a soccer game.
Oh.
It's fine. It's nice out.
So thank you guys.
Yes.
For hanging in there with us.
Yes. Thank you for your patience the last couple of weeks. I appreciate it.
Stuff happens sometimes, and but we're back.
We're back.
We're back. And I think that next week we'll be back.
Should be.
We don't see anything in the future, but things always come up.
I didn't last week either.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Or the week before that.
Yeah.
Oh well.
We do what we can.
It is what it is. We're still here. Everyone's well.
Yep.
So I guess until next week, or until we're able to podcast again.
Yes.
Shouldn't probably promise we'll be back
know.
next week, the way things have been going.
Yeah.
So till next time. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see y'all soon.
Yep. Bye.
Why does that thing say AE lock? What do you think that means?
I don't know.
Who knows? We'll find out. Probably no sound. The way things have been going. That's about where we'd end up, eh?
Yep.
I have to take the sweater off. It's starting to get a little toasty.
Yeah, the sun's coming out. It was chilly this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, there was one day. Is it Monday or Tuesday this week? My husband goes out for like 20 plus mile bike rides in the morning.
Yeah.
And
Did he
there
freeze?
There was one morning he came back and he had his long sleeve jersey on, but he usually wears just his regular bike shorts. And I looked at him and I was like, "Are your knees cold?" He's like, "All of me's cold."
It was chilly.
Yeah, it was like 40 degrees or something.
I know, we're not quite ready for it. It's been so blazing hot this summer that we're not quite there.
It's supposed to be back in the 80s next week.
I knew it. I knew we weren't done. This is our false fall. So here's this one.
Whoa. Look at that. I love the colors.
Isn't that fun?
What's the background yarn?
Drink up, bleepers.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
With
That's pretty.
This stuff.
Drizzle. Sweet.
Oh, look at how much that drizzle changes the color
Because
and
that
the
looks
texture.
so dark. I mean, you can tell that it's dark when the background yarn.
Yeah.
But that
It's just
other
totally changed the look of that yarn.
Mm-hmm.
Completely. It's a really cool color. I have not been alternating skeins because I'm like, I don't think I need to.
Yeah, no, you never tell.
Mm-mm.
Because this is so much lighter that it's really pulling that forward.
Yeah.
Huh. It's pretty.
Thank you. It's a fun knit. It's going to be a huge sweater. I still clearly have to put the neck on it, but it's meant to be sort of oversized.
Mm-hmm.
Oversized.
Does
sweater.
it have sleeves?
It will have sleeves.
It does.
Yep.
Full or?
I think the pattern, I don't know, what does the pattern say? Hadn't looked that far. Clearly I read the pattern before I knit it. Clearly. I think you could do either.
Oh, yeah.
So
That looks like
this one has full and that one did
3/4.
3/4.
Yeah.
So you could do either.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Super
It's
fun.
gonna be cozy.
Oh, apparently I'm collecting pins in this bag. Awesome. So hopefully I can get
Is that
this.
the one that's on good size needles, like 10s
Yeah,
or
it's like
something?
on 10s. Yep.
Hey, look, we always have managed knitting with the same size needle. That's really funny. There was one time we were sitting down to knit and we both needed our 5s. And now we're both using our
Now we're
10s.
both using 10s.
That's funny.
So yeah, so I've been cruising along on this sweater. The only thing that slows me down is when you have the 2 strands, you have to make sure you catch that mohair strand.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I
but
mean, it wouldn't
these
be...
stick together pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's not.
That is the nice thing with the mohair. It kind of wants to grab the other strand. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you could always, if you ended up missing one,
not that
you
big of
could
a
go
deal.
back in with like a little scrap piece and
Yeah.
so that it wasn't.
I usually
And there's
catch
enough
them.
haze over it that you probably wouldn't even notice it anyway.
So just I can't wait to wear this. It's gonna be so cuddly.
It
And
will be.
warm and snuggly.
Mm-hmm.
So my.
But nice and lightweight because it's on 10s too.
Mhm, so it's more open.
Yeah.
Totally
So you won't
more
be like
open.
completely roasting in it, but
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah. And I did finally buy a white collared button-down shirt.
Now
So,
you've got
yeah,
one.
all ready to wear this over the top of that.
I just assumed that you probably would have one in your wardrobe.
I used to. My wardrobe's changed quite a bit. So, funny story. I got a new white button-down collared shirt. I put it on for the first time. Was making my coffee downstairs. I have a Yeti cup, and so it's got the lid with the little slider thing on it. Flicked the slider closed like I do every single morning. Splashed coffee everywhere, all the way down my brand new white shirt.
Oh, you're
I was like, are you
kidding.
seriously?
Oh.
This is why I don't wear white shirts.
Yep.
Right here.
Yep.
Day in, day out. Make myself coffee. Do the exact same thing every day. Do you think it splashes out? Nope. On the day I wear the
know.
white shirt. So then I had to go change.
Yeah. I don't wear white very often because we've got a lot of iron in our water.
Right.
And we've got an iron filter which takes most of it out, but still after enough washings, stuff starts looking dingy.
We have super hard water as well. It doesn't necessarily have iron in it, but the same thing happens. So the whites just start to look dingy just because.
Yeah. And so with iron, you can't use bleach.
Oh.
You have to use either like vinegar or lemon juice or something like that because bleach will actually set the iron stains worse. So you can't.
did not
yeah,
know that.
yeah. So it's like any of my light colors. I don't actually bleach them. I usually use
Like
lemon
vinegar,
juice or vinegar.
Yeah. Vinegar
And
works really
the
well
sun.
anyway.
The sun works really well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yep, I've got I'm now the proud owner of a white button-down collar shirt.
Excellent.
Yep, with coffee stains on it.
I wore my Soldatna last week.
Ooh.
And then, because I didn't get your message until I was at the store and I was like, oh, then I didn't even think about wearing it today.
Yep. So I will say, I'll do this in the outtakes. Thank you, everybody, for your patience the last couple of weeks, and I appreciate everybody's kind words out on Instagram. I'm not going to go into the details of what's been going on because it's not my story to tell, but everybody's fine. We're doing fine. I just have had some unexpected family commitments pop up that have taken me away from being able to podcast the last couple of weeks. So that's all. But we're back. And next week, the next few weeks should be totally a go. I mean, unless something weird happens again, and it totally could.
Yeah, there's always things that pop up.
Yep. I'm actually frankly surprised it hasn't happened more frequently.
I know. Given
both of our schedules and things going on. So, that's what? They're not in that.
There's a knot.
That is not cool.
Not cool.
That is not cool. There's a knot in my mohair. Luckily for mohair, it's not that big of a deal to do in a new. I'm gonna break that because I don't really actually want a knot in my.
I know. I do the same thing because then you won't just keep knitting along and then you knit and you're like, oh, the knot's like right really close to your needle.
Yeah. Yep.
I do that.
Yep. So, and mohair is super sticky. It will weave in really easily.
Yeah, you don't even see them.
Not a big deal at all.
Not
a big deal, but there's a knot. Ha, 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 ha. Wah, wah.
Yep.
Da, 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 da.
So I did sheep shearing school this weekend.
Ooh, how was that?
It was super intense.
I bet.
It was insane.
Because sheep are not small animals.
So we were shearing lambs, which
still not small.
Is good and bad. So the good thing is they're on the smaller side. The bad thing is they've never been shorn before. So they really don't. They've had minimal handling. Because they've got a good sized herd there. They've got about 120 sheep that are there all of the time, and these babies, there are 100 lambs that we were shearing too, so that adds another 100. So we didn't shear any of the adult sheep.
Okay.
We just were shearing all of the lambs, and so the first day was kind of getting our feet wet. We had some classroom time and learned how to set up the shears properly and maintain them and things like that. And then we had homework we had to do about studying the charts and the patterns that you use. But when you actually get down to it to start the shearing, you forget everything and you're like, oh crap. So they sheared one from beginning to end, but the very first ones we started with, they had already done their bellies, their brisket and bellies, their first leg and their neck, because those are pretty challenging. So they wanted us to be able to start with, so when you're shearing, when you take a pass, it's called a blow. So they wanted us to start with the long blows. So it's basically kind of from the butt all the way up to the neck. So that's kind of where they had left them. And there was a bunch of shearers there. I think there was maybe 8 or 10 shearers, professional shearers, is what they do there to kind of supervise all of the students. And so my husband and I did it together. And so the first day we did, in the morning we did the half. We finished up the half. And then the afternoon we did a full sheep on our own. And it was really interesting. I learned a ton. But I've never had back issues in my life, ever. Not lower back. I have the tension stuff in my shoulders and whatever that a lot of people have. So I got done on Saturday night and I could not move. My lower back was done. I couldn't sit comfortably. I couldn't stand comfortably. I couldn't lay down. I slept so horribly that night. And then we went back on Sunday and we were supposed to do it all day long. And I knew I wasn't, because of wrangling the sheep and that physical part of it, and then being bent over them, I knew that my back wouldn't hold out for it. So I ended up observing and kind of helped where I could, and helped with sweeping and picking up wool and things like that. But I knew that
I'm gonna break myself.
I was so disappointed that my body wouldn't allow me to do it.
But it's also, I mean, it's important to recognize, like, when you've reached your limit so you don't actually hurt yourself.
Yeah, and that's what the guy that puts it all together, his name's Jim, and he said to me, he's like, it's really smart of you to do this, because a lot of people don't listen to their body, and that's when you end up getting seriously hurt. Right. He's like, so I know you're probably disappointed that you can't do it, but it's in the long run, it's going to be better. Yeah. And it's something where, I know I have to work on my core and that's, if you have back issues, they'll physical therapists and doctors and everybody will tell you need to strengthen your core.
Well, I know a very good personal trainer. If you'd like to work on that, I can put you in touch with them.
Excellent. So,
you might stump him if you go in and be like, I need to gain muscle so I can shear sheep. You do that. And then I'll ask him, I'll be like, so did my friend Kelly come in? She's the sheep shearer.
That's too funny. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, so, but there was just tons and tons of valuable information and even though I didn't get to do it on the second day, just really good, because these people have, the shears I've been doing it, there was a few of them there that have been doing it their entire lives, like 40, 50 years. Yeah. And they're in,
sorry, guys.
Really, no, I'll just keep on talking. They're in just phenomenal shape, but they're, they've been doing it for so long, but they, everything hurt, like,
oh, I bet.
Arms.
Do you have muscles in places you didn't know you had muscles?
I know. It was unbelievable. So, and the very first one that I got to do, the half of a one that I had to finish up, he was, they were just finishing up doing, like, his belly and legs and neck and everything when we were there, and where Bob and I ended up, because you usually have a shearing board, which is usually like a sheet of plywood, so you can keep it nice and clean. And so where our board was, where we were, was like right next to where they were doing the demos and stuff. So this and most of them were rams. The sheep the lambs that we were doing, they were ram lambs, and there were a few used, but we ended up with, I think, all rams when we were the ones we were doing. And so they're like, oh, here, your board's really close. So they dragged him over to our board, and he had been kicking like crazy. He was one of the bigger rams, and they're like, here, you can start with him. And I'm like, oh, great. So the very first one I have to start, literally from my knees up all the way up my thighs, I have black and blues because he was a kicker, and he just kicked and kicked. And of course I'm still trying to figuring out
like how to hold it,
how you hold them. And you have to keep moving. You move around the sheep, and you're pretty much using your legs to control the sheep, and you have to keep their feet off the ground, and you use your feet too to lift their shoulders up so their feet can't touch, and just figuring out those movements was I think the biggest challenge. Obviously figuring out the pattern for shearing was a challenge too, but it was just, there's so many things you have to remember, and you can see how after doing it for a while it would get so much easier.
Right. It's muscle. It's like knitting. It's muscle memory.
Yeah. And then also figuring out, they're like, you have to squeeze his neck harder, and I'm like, what? I'm already really squeezing pretty hard, and just figuring out like how much pressure you put on them, and because I obviously don't want to hurt them. I'm like, I'm squeezing, and they're like, yeah, but yes, but
yeah, but.
So it was definitely interesting, eye-opening. I met a lot of great people, a lot of good connections, some people that already have sheep, some people that are going into shearing professionally, some people I talked to that are raising dairy sheep, so they didn't really know about the fiber end of it. So I actually gave them my information, because I'm like, if you want to know anything about fiber, that part of it,
yeah, I got that.
that I can definitely help you with. So nice. They're a really nice young couple from up in northern Vermont. So cool. Yeah, it was really great. Just a really good group of people too. Everybody was awesome. Kind of interesting to talk to, and
so fun.
Yeah, so it was a long weekend, but it was definitely worth it.
I bet.
So
cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. I'm gonna post some pictures at some point of Bob. I did get some pictures of him. I don't think I've got I don't think anybody took any pictures while I was sharing.
You're like, thank God.
I know. Yeah, my butt up in the air, bent over a sheep, you know.
Woo!
Anyway, so that's how I spent my weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
And I started a new project.
I don't even know. I can't even remember if I had started any of these.
That you had not.
Okay. That one, I think maybe just barely. That's Shifty. The Shift. Probably not. I don't know.
No, because I haven't seen it in person.
Okay.
I saw the post you posted.
Right, because I came in and bought yarn.
Mm-hmm. I was not here when you
You were not here, and it was the day after we were supposed to podcast 2 weeks ago. Yep. So no. Nope. Okay. All right. So I have 2 new projects. But anyway, we should probably start the podcast.
We should, because you got a Zoom.
I do. I've got soccer game to get to.
Soccer game.
Boys to pick up and soccer game to get to.
Okay.
So
We don't want to keep those boys
I know.
from their soccer game.
First game of the season. Don't want to be late.
Nope.
All right.